In the book that I read, 5 girls throw a firework in a treehouse and cause a girl to go blind. Eventually, one of the 5 girls goes missing, and after that, the other 4 girls get a text from an anonymous person sabotaging their life. The book that I read is Flawless from the Pretty Little Liars series by Sarah Shepard. Flawless is a young adult fiction book. So there's 4 best friends, Aria, Hannah, Spencer, and Emily. And Aria is one of the girls who, when Allison went missing, she escaped to Iceland and didn't come back for another 2 years. Hannah is one of the girls who changed the most when Allison died. She was chunky and out of shape and called Miss Piggy when she was friends with Allison. But once Allison had passed away, she got a wake-up call and became friends with this girl named Mona and started getting in trouble, got in shape, and became one of the most popular girls in school. Emily is a swimmer at her high school, and she fell in love with Allison in a way that she never knew she would. And then when Allison died, she had fallen in love with her neighbor who lived in Allison's house. So Spencer changed the leaves in the book, and she is a schoolgirl who cares so much about her books and is very intelligent, and also hooks up with her sister's fiance and causes them to break up. So the last main character that I'm going to talk about is A, who is the reason that all of the girls are getting into all these troubles. A is a character who messes with the girls' heads as soon as Allie dies and knows all the girls' secrets and no one knows how. The book was taking place in Rosewood, where all of the girls lived and all the accidents happened, and it happened when the girls were in 7th grade when Allie died, and happened throughout middle school when A was sabotaging them. In Rosewood, Pennsylvania, all the girls have the deepest secrets, and someone A finds out and uses it against them for their own good. The girls have to stick together to find out who A is and to be one step ahead of A during the entire game that A plays. Sometimes they would touch fingers to the bracelet and whisper, "Until the day I die," to remind themselves of how close they all were. It became their code. They all knew what it meant. In fact, Allie said it less than a year later, on the very last day of 7th grade, as the girls were starting their summer kickoff sleepover. No one knew that in just a short few hours, Allie would disappear, or on that day, she would be dead. The book Flawless by Sarah Shepard was a good book to make you keep reading in order to know what happens and to keep your eye on the book. Any questions?
On the first day of summer before freshman year, Christy finds out she's moving to California, where her aunt and uncle live. And so that summer, she decides to go down there and visit to see if she can make new friends before the school year. And while she's down there, she falls head over heels for a boy named Todd and changes her complete perspective on her life as her best friend, Alyssa, becomes pregnant at 15, and her other friend, Brittany, is using drugs and taking laxatives. This book is called Christy Miller, and it's by Robin Jones Gunn. This book is a young adult fiction. The main characters in the story would be Christy, Todd, and her Aunt Marty. Christy is a 14-year-old girl who is not very stylish, goes to the beach in a one-piece, and has never talked to boys and doesn't know how to act around them. And she ends up changing all that about her throughout the book. And then Todd is a 15-year-old guy who's a surfer and is super sweet, a really big Christian, and he's the guy that helps Christy change who she is. And then Christy's Aunt Marty is a fashionista-y aunt who's in her 40s, and when Christy is having trouble, she always helps her out, and she also helps her change her style and cut her hair and start wearing makeup. This story takes place in California at Christy's house, at her high school, at the beach, and at church. When Christy gets to California, she meets a few new friends, and they help her get a new perspective on life. She starts going to church and opening up her life to God, and she'd never done that before. She'd never talked to Him before or really thought about being a Christian or having any religion. And so that was a big change in her life. She also changed what she looked like. She had long brown hair and she cut it super short and went blonde. And then in this book, she starts to fall in love with Todd, and he really helps her figure out who she is and what she wants out of life. Christy grew really close with all of her church friends, and they went out partying one night at the beach and were drinking, and Christy didn't drink, but a lot of her friends did, and little did they know that because of the drinking that one of their really close friends was going to die that night, and Todd's best friend was very intoxicated and tried to jump into the water, but ended up jumping on a rock and killing himself. And that was a big impact on Todd, and Christy had to help him through that. And they went to church all the time and just prayed for him in hopes that he was in a better place now. And then, since Christy only spent the summer there, shortly after that she had to leave, and she never told Todd that she was in love with him, but Todd could tell. And so, before she left for the airport, Todd was outside her house holding a box, and she opened it, and it was a forever bracelet that said they would be friends forever, and he kissed her, and it was her first kiss. Todd took her hand as they left the Blue Bayou and held it as they strolled through New Orleans Square. Oh, how she wished her hands weren't so sweaty. Would Todd notice? His hand felt so strong and sure. She loved feeling close to him and secure as they slid through the crowds. That was one of my favorite paragraphs because it showed how much she liked him and how good she felt when she was around him. This is a really good book for teenage girls because it's really sweet and it's a kind of a love story, and I really enjoyed it, and it just made you want to keep reading because it has so much suspense and so much going on that it was hard to put the book down because there was always something new in the next chapter or the next page that you wanted to find out. Does anybody have any questions?